Yes, exactly. Was that his long trip? So let's take. It's 1 o'clock. This is Chairman Jim Hughes. It's a special meeting of the Industrial Commission. It's now being called to order. Date is April 25th, 23. The chair's time shows 1 o'clock. This meeting is being conducted in person. It's being held in the main hearing room of the William Green Building, located at 30 West Spring Street, East Point, Ohio. The meeting is also being streamed on the Ohio Industrial Commission's YouTube channel. The link to listen to this meeting is available on the Industrial Commission's public website. Purpose of the special meeting is limited to the following items. Roll call vote on approval of special meetings minutes for December 1st, 2022. Review, discussion, and roll call vote of proposed changes to memos B3, R6, I2, C2, and M2. Discussion of memo K1 is being tabled to a later date in order to provide additional time for further consideration of the commissioner. Review, discussion, and roll call vote of proposed amendments to Ohio Administrative Code 4121-309. Also for entering an executive session to discuss the hiring of candidates for district hearing officer positions, and a roll call on the hiring candidates for district hearing officer positions. During this time, it's important that prior to speaking, each participant introduce themselves by stating their name and their title. This is to ensure that the audio recording accurately reflects the proceeding. The public is properly informed. For those of you who are listening on the Industrial Commission's YouTube channel, please be aware that the Commissioners vote to enter into executive session, you will not be able to hear a live recording during that time. When the Commissioners exit executive session, the recording will resume. I now ask our Executive Director, Mr. Tim Adams, to call the roll, please.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and affirm your presence. Commissioner Gilmore.
This is Commissioner Karen Gilmore here.
Commissioner Massey.
This is Commissioner Massey here.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Commissioner Jim Hughes, present. We do have a quorum. We'll first go now to review and discussion of special meeting minutes of December 1st, 2022. We will now discuss, these are motions for December 1st, 2022. Is there any discussion on the amendments or the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I move to amend the minutes for the special meeting held December 1st, 2022. Do I have a second to the said motion?
Second. This is Commissioner Massey, I second.
This is Jim Hughes, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner Massey, for your second. Will the Executive Director, Tim Adams, please call the roll?
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore.
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey.
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. The motion does carry. The minutes are therefore approved. We'll now review and discuss the proposed revisions to memo B3, R6, I2, C2, and M2. The floor is now open to discuss any of the memos or any of the issues with regards to these said memos. In regards to R6, which is the interpreter for the hearing impaired reform language, the chair would like to move in the third paragraph down to the line number. So it says the role of interpreter in hearing is currently what's there. The chair would like to have the role of interpreter is and strike in hearings. In addition, dropping down to fifth paragraph, where it says only individuals assigned by the Industrial Commission to propose is to serve as interpreters in Industrial Commission hearings are entitled to payment for such services. The chair would like to have only individuals assigned by the Industrial Commission to serve as interpreters in Industrial Commission hearings pre-hearing conferences and exams are entitled to payment for such services. I'd like to add that in. Is there any discussion? I move to have that added. Is there a second to my amendment?
This is Commissioner Gilmore, a second.
Has been properly moved. Is there any discussion on what we're doing by any of the commissioners? No. Hearing none, I'm going to call for the amendment to R6. I will ask, excuse me, this is Jim Hughes, Chairman. I will ask Mr. Tim Adams to call the roll and see if there's any objection to the amendment by the chair, which has been properly moved and seconded by Commissioner Gilmore.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Jim Hughes. The motion does carry. The amendment is adopted into R6. Is there any discussion on the either R6 or on memos B3, I2, C2, and M2? Hearing no further discussion, I'll make a motion to adopt proposed changes to memo B3. Do I have a second for the said motion?
This is Commissioner Dan Massey, I second.
This is Jim Hughes, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner Massey, for your second. Will the Executive Director, Tim Adams, please call the roll?
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes. The motion does carry. Memo B3 is adopted. I'll now make a motion to adopt proposed changes to the amended memo R6. Do I have a second to that said motion?
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, I second.
This is Chairman Jim Hughes. Thank you, Commissioner Gilmore, for your second. Will please the Executive Director, Tim Adams, please call the roll for the amended memo R6.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes. The memo does carry of the amended R6. I will now move to make a motion to adopt proposed changes to memo I2. Do I have a second for that, please?
This is Commissioner Massey, I will second the motion.
This is Chairman Jim Hughes. Thank you, Commissioner Massey, for your second. I'll now ask Executive Director Tim Adams to call the roll, please.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Jim Hughes. The motion does carry. I will now make a motion to adopt the proposed changes to memo C2. Do I have a second for that, please?
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, a second.
This is Chairman Jim Hughes. It's been properly moved and seconded to adopt the changes to memo C2. Will the Executive Director, Tim Adams, please call the roll?
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes. The motion does carry to adopt the proposed changes to memo C2. I'll now make a motion to adopt the proposed changes to memo M2. Do I have a second for that?
This is Commissioner Massey, I second the motion.
This is Chairman Jim Hughes. It's been properly moved and amended, and thank you, Commissioner Massey, for that second. Will the Executive Director, Tim Adams, please call the roll?
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Dan Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes. The proposed changes to memo M2 do carry. And will now move to review and discuss the vote on amendment to Ohio Administrative Code 4121-3-09. Floor is now open for discussions to the proposed amendment to the Ohio Administrative Code of 4121-3-09. Hearing no further discussion, I, the Chair, Jim Hughes, make a motion to adopt proposed amendments to Ohio Municipal Code 4121-309. Do I have a second to the said motion?
This is Commissioner Gilmore, a second.
This is Chairman Jim Hughes, you can probably move and seconded. Thank you also, Commissioner Gilmore, for your second. Will Executive Director Tim Adams please call the roll?
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. Chairman Jim Hughes, the proposed changes to carry. And we'll now go into the review and discussion of personnel matters, hiring of district hearing officers. This is a personnel matter that requires a discussion among the commissioners in executive session. Executive session is limited to discussion of potential hiring of district hearing officers and any necessary legal advice. Any vote will be made in open session. I, Jim Hughes, Chairman, now move the commission now enter an executive session to discuss the potential employment of district hearing officer candidates. Do I have a second to the enter the executive session?
This is Commissioner Massey, I will second.
Mr. Chairman Jim Hughes, been properly moved and seconded. Thank you, Commissioner Massey, for your second. I now ask Executive Director Tim Adams to call the roll.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your names, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. Mr. Chairman Hughes, the motion does carry. The motion in executive session, as I mentioned, carries. I respectfully request that anyone who's not invited to remain for executive session, please leave the hearing room until the commission reconvenes in open session. I also ask to suspend the audio recording while the commission is in executive session. My understanding, Mr. Kramer, we're live. We'll be back on the record. This is now we're doing a roll call to take action related to personnel matters. Having reviewed the personnel matters in executive session, I'm now making a motion by the way, this is Chief Hughes, Chairman, on record, make sure it's clear, to approve the hiring of district hearing officers discussed in executive session. Do I have a second for hearing officers talked about to the said motion?
This is Commissioner Karen Gilmore. I second.
This is Jim Hughes, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner, for properly moving and seconding that. Having received a second, I'm going to ask Executive Director, Mr. Tim Adams, to call the roll, please.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes. The motion does carry. One other thing we do have is we had a discussion of memo K1, which is set on our schedule for today. As I mentioned before, that I'm going to make a motion now to table that for a later date in order to provide more additional time for further consideration. So I move that we table discussion of the memo K1. Do I have a second to the said motion, please?
This is Commissioner Massey. I will second.
Mr. Chairman, Jim Hughes, thank you. Been properly moved and seconded by myself as well as Commissioner Massey to table memo K1. I'll now call upon our Executive Director, Mr. Tim Adams, to call the roll, please.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes. Chairman
Hughes, yes. Chairman Hughes, the motion does carry, so K1 is being tabled. At this point in time, we consider all the items on our agenda for special meeting. I move to adjourn. Do I have a second to the motion to adjourn?
This is Commissioner Gilmore, second.
This is Chairman Hughes. Probably moved a second. Also, thank you, Commissioner Gilmore, for your second. I'm now going to ask Executive Director Tim Adams to call the roll.
This is Tim Adams, Executive Director of the Ohio Industrial Commission. As I call your name, please restate your name and state your vote. Commissioner Gilmore,
Commissioner Karen Gilmore, yes.
Commissioner Massey,
Commissioner Massey, yes.
Chairman Hughes.
Chairman Hughes, yes. This is Chairman Hughes, the said motion does carry. We are now adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.